Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinmoy's Biology channel. So let's get started with the new episode of Nutrition in Animals. So we are going to start today about the parts of digestive system, that is starting from the esophagus till the large intestine. Right, so in the previous two episodes, we have already discussed about the basics. We have discussed about the mouth and the buccal cavity, milk, teeth and permanent teeth, types of teeth we have discussed. We have discussed about the taste buds also. So let's get started without further delay, that is parts of the digestive system. So first we are starting with an example that when you are eating too fast or eating in a hurry or talking while eating or laughing, what you get? You are getting choked or you are getting hiccups or you may cough also. So your parents or your mother keeps on telling you that when you are eating you should not talk, you should not laugh. So why? Because the windpipe carries the air from the nostrils to the lungs, and this happens when the food particles they enter the windpipe. Okay, and the windpipe and the food pipe, they are very much adjacent to each other, but inside the throat the air and the food they share a common passage. And how is the food prevented from entering the windpipe? During the act of swallowing, there is a flap which closes the passage of windpipe and guides the food into the food pipe. Now, if by chance the food particles enter the windpipe, we get choked, we get hiccups, or we get coughs. So you should be very careful while eating, because if you are like a little bit, your concentration is here and there, the flap will not close and the food will enter into the windpipe and you may get choked also badly. Okay, so this is happening, because the flap is not closing. So now today we will be dealing with the structure like the food pipe, about the stomach, about the small intestine and the large intestine. So dear students, you need to subscribe to my channel to know more regarding this full lesson what I'll be teaching today in this episode, and you need to stay tuned with all my episodes which I'll be posting in the coming videos, right, as per your curriculum. So stay tuned, stay updated, and let's start today's interesting topic of the digestive system. Now, this activity you can observe in your class with your friends. What you need to do, it's a very simple activity. You need to just take a sugar solution, a salt solution, a lemon juice solution, and a neem leaf or a bitter gourd solution. So you need to blindfold your classmates and tell them to take out their tongue and keep it straight in flat position. So what you are going to keep? Now you are used to using a clean toothpick and putting the samples one by one in different areas of the tongue. As shown in this, as in the previous episode, I have shown you the different areas. So by one on the tongue, as we will be seeing down in figure 2.6, right? So use a toothpick for each sample. So for the taste buds also in the previous episode I have discussed. So ask the classmates which areas of your tongue could detect the sweet, salty, sour and bitter substances, right? So which areas of your tongue, your friend's tongue is having the sweet, bitter and salty or sour sensations, you should ask. So that is the first observation with the taste buds which you are going to perform in class. So this is a test of taste buds which you can perform in your class with your friends or classmates. So now we will start with this structure of the digestive system. Okay, so first we are starting with the food pipe, that is the esophagus, right? Now when we are taking a bolus of food, like a gulp of food, the swallowed food passes into the food pipe or the esophagus. The food pipe runs along the neck. So this is the food pipe and this is the food which is running along the neck, and this esophagus is having a contraction and a relaxation movement. Okay, so the food bolus from here, it's pushed down to the stomach portion, right? So this is the stomach. So the movement of the esophagus is the movement of the alimentary canal. So the bolus is moving down like this from the mouth to the esophagus and down to the stomach by the contraction and relaxation movement of the esophagus. Now the chest, okay, the food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe, and actually this movement takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. Now at that times the food is not accepted by our stomach and it's vomited out. Now when your stomach is not accepting the food, when you are having any kind of problem in your stomach, what will happen? The food will get out from the stomach, so it will get vomited out, or you will get a problem of reflux. So the food is being it is being given out from the mouth, it is being refluxed, or we can say you are vomiting the food. So vomit you will get. Okay, so recall the instances when you vomited after eating and think the reason for it. So you can discuss with your parents and your teacher also. You can discuss, ask your parents that when and why did you vomit. Might be you were a child then, you don't remember that what was the cause for your vomit. You can ask your parents, right? Now after the food pipe or the esophagus, we move on to the stomach. Now the stomach, what is it? It is a thick-walled bag-like structure. Now its shape is like a flattened J, and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal, right? So it receives food from the food pipe at one end and opens into the small intestine at the other end. Okay. The inner lining of the stomach is secreting mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. So this all details you will be studying in 9th standard, right? So now you are in 7th standard. For you, you know this much only. So details of hydrochloric acid, digestive juices, all enzymes and all you will be studying in the 9th standard. Okay, so 8th, 9th and 10th, these are the classes where you will be studying this in detail. So now you are having just a gist of this digestive system. So the inner lining, what does it secrete? It secretes mucus, it secretes hydrochloric acid and secretes digestive juices. Now the mucus protects the lining of the stomach, and the acid kills the bacteria that enters along with the food and makes the stomach acidic and helps the digestive juices to act on it. Okay, the digestive juices break down the protein into simpler substances. Okay, the digestive juices, they are breaking down the proteins into simpler substances. Now what is happening? The stomach is secreting acid, the stomach is secreting mucus, and the acid, what is it doing? It is breaking down and helping the digestive juices to act on the food, and they are breaking down the protein into simpler substances, and as they are broken down into simpler substances, it is helping in the absorption in the small intestine part. Okay. Now the small intestine is highly coiled and is about 7.5 meters long. Next, the small intestine is 7.5 meters long. It receives secretions from the liver, from the pancreas. Besides, its walls also secretes the juices. So it's very complex, right? From the stomach is pushing the food down to the small intestine. Small intestine is 7.5 meters long. It is having secretions of its own also, as well as it is receiving secretions from liver as well as pancreas. What is the liver? The liver is the largest gland. It is a brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. And it is the largest gland of the body. It is secreting bile juice and is stored in a sac called gallbladder. So gallbladder is secreting the bile juice. It is a sac, and this bile juice is secreted from the liver. So what is the role of bile juice? The important role of bile juice is the digestion of fats. Okay, is it clear? So the digestion of fats is the main role of the bile juice. Now the pancreas is a large cream-colored gland located just below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on the carbohydrates, fats, proteins and changes them into simpler form. So what is the function of the pancreatic juice? It is helping the carbohydrates, proteins and fats to get changed into their simpler forms, right? So now we will see this. Okay, here we will be seeing about one story, that how the stomach was working of the stomach was invented. So it was a strange accident, right? In 1822, a man named Alexis St. Martin was badly hit by a shotgun. So the bullet had seriously damaged the chest wall and made a hole in his stomach. He was brought to an American army doctor, William Beaumont. Now the doctor saved the patient, but he could not close the hole properly and left it bandaged. So it was like this, slightly open, and he left it bandaged. Now Beaumont took it a great opportunity and to see inside of the stomach through the hole. So what he observed? He made some wonderful observation. He found that the stomach was churning food. Its wall was secreting a fluid that could digest the food, and he also observed that the end of the stomach opens in the intestine only after the digestion of the food inside the stomach is completed. So this was the observation, and this is how the invention of the stomach, the working principle of the stomach happens. So how the food is coming inside the stomach, how it's churning the food, and how it was releasing several juices, because it was there was a hole in the chest, so the doctor was able to peep through the hole and see the working of the stomach. So this is a story. Now we will move on to this part. Now the partly digested food now reaches the lower part of the small intestine. Now here in the above part, we have already told that the small intestine, the pancreas are just located below the stomach, and the pancreatic juice acts on the carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and changes them into simpler forms, right? Now the partly digested food, they reaches the lower part of the intestine, where the intestinal juice completes the digestion of all the components of food. Okay, the carbohydrates are broken down into simple sugars such as glucose, fats into fatty acids and glycerols, and proteins into amino acids. So all this breakdown process has been completed in this last part or the lower part of the small intestine. Now the next step is absorption in the small intestine will start happening. Now the digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the wall of the intestine, and this process is called absorption. Okay, now the inner walls of the small intestine, they have thousands and thousands of finger-like outgrowths called the villi, and the singular is villus. Right. So can you guess the role of villi in the small intestine? So let us see that what is villi and what is the role of villi in the small intestine. So they are finger-like projections like this, right? Finger-like projections. So if this is the small intestine wall, in this wall there are like this, villi projections, right? So this I'll show you in the next slide. What is the villi? Now the villi increase the surface area of the absorption of the digested food. So what is the role? As it is folded in this form, it increases the surface area of the absorption, because if it is straight, the straight intestinal wall would have absorbed, then the absorption would have been less. So this full area, as it is absorbing more area, more part is being exposed to absorption. So it is increasing the surface area. So each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface, and the surface of villi absorbs the digested food materials, right? The surface of villi absorbs the digested food materials. So the absorbed substances are transported via the blood vessels to different organs of the body, where they are used to build complex substances such as proteins required by the body. Now this is called assimilation. Okay, so what is assimilation? Assimilation is the absorbed substances are transported via blood vessels to different organs of the body, where they are used to build up complex substances. So this part is called assimilation. So they are used to build up proteins required by the body. This process is called assimilation. So they can give you the definition of assimilation. So I'll be discussing that at the end again. So what are the important definition, absorption, assimilation, all I'll be discussing at the end in a sum up, right? So please stay till the end and don't skip your lessons in middle, so that you will miss many important parts. So in the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen and carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. So energy is released in the form of ATP. So this energy which is released after the breakdown of glucose in the cell is giving us energy to work, whatever work we are performing. It is giving us energy to do our daily activities, daily chores and all. So the food that remains undigested and unabsorbed is entering the large intestine. Now we will move on to the function of large intestine. So now the large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length, and its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material. So the remaining waste passes into the rectum and remains there as semi-solid feces. Now the fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. So what is your fecal matter? It is the waste product which your body system, your small intestine is unable to digest or absorb. So stomach, whatever it's digesting, it's pushing down to the small intestine. Small intestine, after several processes and all, it is absorbing the useful materials and sending them to the blood vessels to different organs where they are used to build up the proteins and all the materials. Now they are being glucose is being broken down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. Now the large intestine, what is it doing? It is absorbing the normal salts and undigested material. The normal salts and water is being absorbed, and the undigested material is being pushed down to the rectum, and where it is remaining as a semi-solid feces. Now feces are being excreted from time to time, and that process is called egestion. So this is your full digestive system structure, right? So this in the next slide we will just I have discussed full theory part. Now I'll show you a diagram, a label diagram, which is very important. With this labeling, this diagram you should learn properly for your exam. So let us move on to the next slide. Now this is the diagram of the digestive system. So let us start with the label diagram, and this is very important. So please take out your copy and just dot this diagram with the labelings which I have shown you here. And please practice it because it is very important for your exam. So let's get started. So this is the mouth. These are the both salivary glands which are acting on the food when you are chewing them in the mouth and the buccal cavity, right? So there the salivary glands, they secrete the digestive juices which helps the food to get masticated, and then it is passing down the esophagus or the alimentary canal down to the stomach. Okay, so the food is passing, the bolus is passing to the stomach. From the stomach it is being pushed down. This is the gallbladder, this is the liver. This liver is secreting bile which is stored in this pouch. Bile is secreted in this pouch called gallbladder. This is the pancreas, the cream color pancreas, which is just located below the stomach. So if you have gone through the description which I have taught you, so same exactly the description I have taught you in this way. Now the food from the stomach is being pushed to the small intestine. This is the small intestine. Here the food is being absorbed, assimilation and all is happening in this 7.5 meter small intestine. Then the undigested or unabsorbed food is being pushed into the large intestine, which is much wider. You can see then it is pushed down to the rectum and it is excreted through the anus. Now here appendix is there. Appendix is a vestigial organ. So what does vestigial mean? This is a part of the large intestine which is no longer in use for us. So it's a vestigial organ, right? So in many cases you will see a person, they are having severe stomach pain when the appendix gets enlarged. So that is a vestigial organ. If you cut it also, there will be no problem as it is not required for our body functioning. So this is all for today's episode. I have discussed full digestive system, tract, alimentary canal from the mouth till the rectum with the label diagram and the description as well. So please do go through it. Subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned with all the episodes, and in the next episode very soon I'll be back with the digestion in grass eating animals. So still then, please stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to like and share my videos. And please do watch the episodes full. Thank you.